Brian Terrian here from the Disability Digest, and I'm going to share with you some insights into one of the, well, actually, it's the number one reason why people do not qualify for their Social Security disability check that come here anyway to the Disability Digest. So I'm going to address it, explain what the problem is. Hopefully this will be of value to you or perhaps somebody else you know. So, general question for those going through the disability process, want to know if they qualify, is have you worked 50% or more of the last 10 years? And if you haven't worked, then you haven't worked and paid taxes into the system, and it's the FICA taxes that come out of your paycheck that fund the Social Security system that allow you to access a disability check. So, here's 3 examples just from last week of individuals that worked 50% or more of the last 10 years. I'm going to go through their situations as an informative heads up that hopefully this doesn't apply to you or somebody that you know, or if it does, you can make some corrective steps. So the first one, and I've altered this a little bit to keep the individuals anonymous, but it says I worked in special education part-time out of school, and this was in Texas, and they did not take out my Social Security taxes, and she had worked there for 12 years. So she worked enough as far as the number of hours that she worked, but in Texas there's teachers associations that do not take federal income tax, FICA tax, out of her paycheck. So now she's sick, she has children, she's on her own, she's not able to work, and she has no resources for Social Security disability to fall back on. So if you're a teacher in Texas, I know in California this is also the case, you want to be aware of, you want to check and see if they're taking taxes out of your paycheck, and if they're not, make sure that you find some other way, ideally, to support yourself in the unfortunate event that you can't work. Here's another one, not a teacher, worked for the city of Cleveland for 15 years doing data entry. Filed for disability in Cleveland. Actually, her case went to court, all the way to court, and the judge denied it. And right before she went to court, her attorney dropped the case, saying he couldn't win it. And the reason why both of those events happened, judge dropped it, and the attorney dropped it, and the judge denied it, is the city of Cleveland did not take taxes out of her paycheck. So she was uninsured. So now, sick, stuck, 48 years old, gonna try to do whatever she can to work and earn and get some of her Social Security disability credits back. Here's the last example. This individual is 59 years old, lifetime, hands-on type work. Most recently in his career for the last 20 years has been doing welding and welding repair work. He was working at a job doing this, and it became difficult to do the job. So he opened his own shop in his backyard. Shop was successful, made a bunch of money. But he filed as a DBA, and in the last 10 years, he only paid $1,500 in taxable income. So, although he made all this money, now he can't work, and he's only paid $1,500 over the last 10 years in taxes. It's nowhere near enough to qualify for a disability check. So, this individual actually might be able to sell his business or do something and recoup some cash. But so, 2 examples here. If you're working for somebody, and take a look at your pay stub, see if you're paying into the disability system, so that you would indeed qualify for a check if you become disabled or when you retire. That's one thing to do. If you're doing business for yourself, you have to understand the consequences. If you are running a DBA and writing off all your expenses, which apparently it's totally legal to do, but if you're not funding your disability check, then you don't have any disability to go back on. So those are some of the considerations. So I'm in hopes that this message has been helpful. Hopefully it doesn't apply to you and you've got plenty of FICA tax that's been paid. But if you know of somebody that this might apply to, send it out, share it with them, see if you can make a difference or help us make a difference. And join us in the comments below if there's some feedback that you have or other situations, or maybe you know of larger organizations where individuals work and taxes aren't taken out of. That's always helpful for us to know as well. So it's been Brian Terrian from the Disability Digest. Make it a great day.